So I just want to take a moment and say welcome to anybody. I don't have any followers yet, but that's okay. Doing this video, I'm just basically shooting from the hip. I haven't really scripted anything. I don't really want to. So yeah, I'm starting a channel. I have absolutely no idea or expectations on it. Of course, I have my wants and what I'd like to see out of it. The reality doesn't always align, and that's okay. But here we are anyway. So, starting a YouTube channel. I guess I should talk about what this channel should be, or what my vision for it is. Really not sure. I think a lot of it will be dictated by you and anybody who does actually start watching this, knowing what you guys want. But I would like to be able for this to be a respectfully open forum that can talk about a lot of things. And obviously YouTube has some restrictions that we have to go by. Now I'm still kind of learning those as far as fair use and copyrights and all the other stuff that's involved with this, but ultimately I hope this can be a fairly open forum. Hopefully we can talk about video games, life, politics, men, women, bullshit in general. I don't know, whatever. And yeah, I'm trying to talk and just kind of wander around at the same time because I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm going to do this. I hope I can find a way to make this entertaining for you guys. It's interesting. In my head, I kind of had a vision of how I was going to start this video and what I was going to say and everything. And, just kind of play my game and just talk, and not as easy as it seems. Especially when you're shooting from the hip and you don't really have anything planned as far as what you're talking about. So, since we're on the issue of topics, let's talk about Elden Ring. Going through YouTube and whatnot, I've seen a lot of people bitching and moaning and groaning about the new DLC for this game, and even the game itself in general, and crying about it being too hard. And there's even somebody actually created a lawsuit, which I think is bullshit. And I think this game gives you all the tools you need, regardless of what you think of the difficulty. It's pretty much on what you make it, what you use, or don't use. I think for some people, a lot of people, including to some extent myself, had a different maybe take on what this game was, or I should say the DLC was going to be about. And, you know, they straight up told everybody this was going to be a difficult, and it should be. And it really ain't all that difficult. I'm trying to figure out where I want to mess around at. You know, I think people get the idea, you know, that after they've been playing this for a year in the base game, they've got pretty much all the spells, all the weapons, all the armors. You know, they knew all these different builds that they had, and got to New Game Plus, and as they progressed, it probably started to feel almost robotic. You know, I'm on New Game 5, and I notice I have to be kind of careful with kind of falling into, I don't know, for lack of a better word, the robotic play of this game. And going through playthroughs, you get so used to certain things, and because of all the work that we've done with this game in earlier sessions and whatnot, kind of turned this game into easy mode for a lot of us. And I think a lot of people thought that they were going to walk into the DLC and that they were going to have the same easy street walkthrough as they did before. You know, not remembering so much what it was like when they were new at this game. And I think that was a pretty delusional. They straight up said that this was gonna. Okay guys, so I have to admit it, I have shitty internet, and it looks like it's so bad that people can't even join me anymore, or at least for the moment. Yeah, I guess that's kind of the mercies you're at, starting a channel really with absolutely no money. Well, I'm going to push forward. So anyway, getting back to the subject at hand, talking about, you know, Elden Ring and whatnot, I think people thought that this game was just going to be easy street, and because they had been in the base game, and they can damn near solo everything, and da-da-da-da-da-da, that the DLC was going to be just as easy. And I think a lot of people found out really quick that it wasn't, which I don't really understand, because I've done it twice now myself, and I found my first playthrough, I found that it was very spotty, you know, and it wasn't very focused, and some of that could have been because when I started it, I really came in blind on it, and I didn't watch any guides, which made for an interesting experience. And what I wound up doing was bouncing around to a lot of different areas, and kind of opened a whole bunch of, but couldn't progress very far in any of them. You know, and as I just kind of bounced around between them, and I get a little bit stronger after finding this, especially the scatter fragments, and whatever is the other one that's for your defense. Anyway, the point being, you know, as I progressed, if that makes any sense. Let's go kill this motherfucker. It is time for you to meet Jesus, bitch. Alright, fucker. Come on, really? You're fucked. Yep, it's done. Goodbye. So anyway, I think people thought it was just going to be easy street, and the environment can be kind of toxic with people in this game, and I don't really understand why. You know, you always have the people that think they're so big and bad and hardcore on this game, and oh, you should never use summons, or you don't need to do this, you don't need to do that, or you shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't do that. And it's like, shut the fuck up, man. Let people play the game how they want. And I'm not really saying anything different than anybody else has already said, but I do agree with what most people have kind of said. You know, as far as that's concerned, I mean, who gives a shit if you use a summons? It doesn't make you any better or worse of a player. And I can see where there can be some issues, but that's on the person. If that's how they want to play the game, get good is subjective, and I think part of that is getting good until you get good, and that helps you to get good. So fuck those people. But the absolute absurdity of a lawsuit over this game, because it's too hard, is bitch-like on a level that I just can't. What the hell do you even say? Anybody who's actually plays this game is dumbfounded by this. Oh, come on, you motherfuckers. I hate those things. So anyway, alright, this motherfucker, I've just had enough of your shit. Where the fuck is he at? Let's play, bitch. Ooh, shit. I guess he decided to play. Well, ain't that a bitch. Welcome to Elden Ring. Anyway. But the game ain't all that as far as difficulty. Like I said, even for me, as I progressed, I did progress and I got better, so my bouncing around all over the map, even though it really didn't kind of follow the storyline, I did open it up and I did get through it. I made a lot of mistakes that could be made in playing that, and I still made it through. So, with that being said, these guys suck. They're not hard to kill, but they are a pain in the ass. Nothing like having 6 fucking spears or bows. Because God forbid 1 to 2 ain't enough. We need fucking 6 of them. All the better to massacre you with. I don't need it. Whatever. Yeah, I really wish I had some kind of feedback to go off of. It would so help this flow a little bit better. Splat. Of course. I wouldn't expect anything less from Elden Ring. Especially when I'm just kind of running around. I'm really not playing this with any purpose in mind. Well, you know what? What is... Oh, come on, stop that shit. I don't know why it started doing that so much all of a sudden. I really kind of wish I knew better what I was trying to say, and I apologize for that. We'll try and make this a little bit more organized. But I really didn't want to script anything, because I think there's something to be said for just speaking your mind and speaking from the heart. I think there's a lot of difficulties with that anymore. Well, let's play fucker. Oh, I did that. I did not mean to do that. How the hell did I even get that out? There, that's what I wanted. There we go. Oh well. I haven't been to this spot in a long damn time, like probably a couple of playthroughs. So this is kind of cool. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier about, like, being careful on getting stuck into the same routine, which is kind of what I was saying too about, you know, people thinking that this game was going to be a walk through the park, and it really wasn't intended to be. However, I do have to give them credit. When the first few bosses, or not even really bosses, the first few encounters I came across, you know, the so-called random encounters, I really found to not be all that hard. Which was refreshing. I mean, I guess the difficulty level from what they were saying is that about the same of Farah Mazur, which I must admit is not exactly my favorite place. So I don't seem to be able to move through that area on total easy street. I don't know if everybody else's experience is like that, but I mean, I can get through it, and I can even grind through it, but God, is it so much slower, man, because you're getting smoked, man, in so many different ways. It seems like there's more of those little gotcha moments. Because it's not so much about a good skilled fight as it is about, okay, well, now you're kind of fighting the developer because they just decided that was when you should die, or it should be very difficult, or whatever. You know, and don't get me wrong, I love this game. This is a great game, but I mean, there are some valid criticisms for stuff like that in this game. Like, I think everybody can pretty much agree that input reading in this game is a crock of shit. And I've literally kind of seen people, I don't know if they're defending it or not, but they're like, oh no, it's not input reading, it's doing it. It's input reading. A rose by another name still pricks you with its fucking thorns. It will still piss you off. Because it's just a gimmicky way of killing a player versus a good balanced fight. I need to find that raisin. that will let me, well, it's not the raisin, but the recipe that, there's a recipe on the other side and the lands in between that will allow you to give Torrent a raisin that makes him, I guess, kind of aggressive, and that, I guess, if you're jumping around and doing stuff, he'll actually do damage. So he can actually kind of be a bit of a combative for you. I really haven't seen much about it or whatnot. I doubt there's a lot of people that are relying on that. But that is kind of cool. Turn him into a freight train. And maybe do some smash damage. I have to admit, that's pretty cool. And it'd be really even better. His little horns would actually gore and create some bleed damage. Wouldn't that be a bitch? You know what, guys, give me a second. Let me see if I can at least open that chat back up for the hopes that maybe get a little bit of a give and take on this conversation. Hang on a second. Let's see what we can do.